Welcome back to Not Just Notes. If you're enjoying my content, please subscribe. I'm so happy to see you here. We're having the usual unruly hair situation. I'm going to Whole Foods to get some mangoes. They have mangoes on sale. It's exciting. And maybe some oat milk. I love oat milk and mangoes. It's been a lovely day. The weather is getting nicer and nicer. It's springtime. The sun is brighter and brighter. It's springtime. I spoke to Dima's mom. I'm going to go visit tomorrow and help her look through his things, see if there's something I want. I want everything. I want everything of his. Really want everything of his. He had good taste and also, I don't know, although she said she already started taking things down in his apartment. That's going to be sad because I still remember it the way it was. And I don't know how I'm going to feel, but it's part of life. Life is changing, we're moving, the planet is spinning and rotating and moving, and time is limited. Time here is limited. Time here, as we know, is limited. Maybe, I don't know. They say there's timelessness outside of this and we just transition from here to somewhere else. I think it's true. God willing, it's true. But darn it, it's so good here. Even when it's so bad, it's so good, right? She asked me to tell her stories about him. I will try. Although, I don't know what to say, so what can I say? I was there, but I spoke about it at the funeral when Dima was selecting his car. He wanted a red sports car. And he had a friend of his look at a car at a dealership, and then when the friend looked at it, he was like, it's not in a good enough condition for you to buy it. Because Dima also wanted the car in a really good condition so that he wouldn't have to bother with fixing it up after he bought it. So then he was on some auction site, and he found a white car. Oh, first he was deciding between two shades of red, and he was like, but I think it's hard to tell on the picture exactly what the color will be in real life because, you know, color doesn't always reproduce accurately in a picture depending on like what filter you use or like how the light was shining when you were taking the picture. So, and then there was a price differential between the two red cars, and he was like, I kind of want the brighter red, or maybe I don't know. He was deciding between the reds, and we were talking about it, and then I was like, well, does it really matter? Like, it's red. And I was just trying to support the idea that any of the cars that he would choose would be good enough. And then he decided, then somehow he found a white sports car, a white sports Audi on a website. And all of a sudden I'm sitting in his apartment. It's like some weekend, we're just hanging out. And he's bidding on this car. And he has like a $50,000 limit. I think he went like maybe a couple of thousand over. And he's there bidding on this white car. And I'm thinking to myself, it was exciting. It was exciting to watch him do that. And he like sat there so intense. And then all of a sudden he won. And he's like, oh my God, I just got a car. I was like, yeah, you did. So there was that. And then a couple of weeks later, the car arrived, or like a month later. I don't remember. And he was just super excited. And he was like stoked that it was that car. It was white. The wheels were so pretty. It had like some inlay. I do believe like, yeah, it had like beautiful inlay in the wheels. They were like special super duper wheels, and like we took it for a test drive, and then Dima was trying to decide where he wants to keep the car. So there's a garage in his building, but it was more expensive, but 24-hour access, or a garage nearby, which he couldn't access from 12 p.m. until 6 a.m. And he was like, which one? And I was like, I think, you know, it's kind of inconvenient to not be able to get into your garage. So I think, you know, like the 24-hour garage would be better. and he was trying to run the financials on it, and then he thought about it for a while and decided on the 24-hour access. So there was that related to the car. And then we took it to Brighton Beach, where he and I and his friend, no, first we took it to his friend's house downtown just to show it off. And his friend was like so excited about the car and so excited about Dima having a car. And like, it was a beautiful car. We all agreed it was a beautiful car. And it was like so amazing. And then the next day, I think we took it to Brighton Beach. Or sometime soon, we took it to Brighton Beach. We were hanging out with friends at the beach, and it was so nice to like get there. He really appreciated the fact he wanted really good speakers because he was a DJ and a music lover, and the sound had to be really good. He had these speakers at his house that were really sweet, and so the speakers were really sweet in this car. So yeah, we drove, kind of like he would show how the car would accelerate, and it was really cool because you could feel the acceleration on your body, and it made me like super excited. I love it, feeling acceleration in cars, and like it was a really good experience. We got to the beach, we parked it, we walked to meet our friends, and had a great day, and then drove back into the city. So that's the car story, the Diva car story. And then, so another story is his mom got him these like beautiful, beautiful cups. And then when I'd come over, so these pink cups, and when I'd come over, like I would love drinking tea out of those cups that his mom had gotten for him. And they were like so feminine and beautiful. He appreciated getting them. I'm not sure he was like a great fan of, I don't know how he felt about them, but I loved them. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. They had like this interesting shape, and they were pink with gold handles, and I was just like super excited to be drinking out of them. And I was also super excited to see that his mom got him a present, and that he was using it, and his friend, and we were using it, like his friends. Then Dima had a vacuum cleaner. He had a Dyson. Maybe I can get his Dyson. I've been eyeing it. And he started replacing parts on the Dyson because it was cheaper to replace the parts than to replace the Dyson. But it was also kind of like a little silly, I thought. I was like, Dima, why? And then the colors like became a little bit eccentric on it, but I think he liked it. But I was like, Dima, why not get a new one? And he's like, they got very expensive all of a sudden. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But he like replaced the long handle, like the long pipe, replaced something else. It was wild. I wonder if he still has like his bubbly water at his place. He used to order like oodles and oodles of bubbly water for a while, like Perrier. What was the other one? In the blue bottles. Yeah, and then the blue bottles. I don't know if he ever had Gerolsteiner. We talked about bubbly water already in case of Dima. And then he learned that drinking bubbly water was not good, so he switched to like regular water. And I was like, what happened to the bubbly water? But I think there were like still a couple of bubbly waters available. He's like, I decided to drink still. It's like, bubbly water is not good. I was like, okay. So these are the Dima stories for tonight. Next time, remind me to do a story about Indian food. Dima and I love to have Indian food together. Okay, I'll tell you now. So, and I wish I could remember the restaurant. But so there were a couple of times where he was like, what do you want to eat? And I was like, oh, maybe we want to eat Indian. So we like ordered Indian, and it was so good. Like, it was really nice because like you could easily go with him through to like the ratings and be like, I want the highest rating restaurant, and he'd be like, me too. Because there's like sometimes a really big difference in the flavor profile for the restaurants that are like 4.7 versus like 4.4. So we found this Indian place, and I was like, I want salmon in curry. Like I want Tikka masala salmon. Like he's like, I don't know. I was like, I want it. So we ordered it, and then he tried it, and it became one of his new favorite Indian foods, because later he was like, sometime later he like texted me, we spoke, and he was like, oh, by the way, I ordered the salmon tikka masala again. It was great. I was like, told you. I was like, told you. It was fantastic. And then we used to like lassi, mango lassi. And then what do we, of course we tried chicken. I don't remember if he got naan. I would love to know what the restaurant name was, because the food was really, really, really good. And in fact, the first meal that Dima and I ever shared together was Indian food. It was somewhere in the village next to the non-alcoholic drinks bar. The drinks were awful. And I knew they were going to be awful. It was just like, they were just awful. And then I was like, let's go like have something else. And we went to have Indian food right across the street, and it was amazing. Like it was really, really, really good. And then we went for a walk, because like we were enjoying conversing with each other, and we ended up in a lounge of some hotel which had like a French menu, and we had creme brulee because I'm gluten-free. So we had creme brulee and tea, and the couches were super duper weird, and I sat like on the floor next to the little table, next to the low table, and he sat on the couch, and I couldn't find like a good spot on the couch. It was not very comfortable. Yeah. So that's a culinary adventure we had. That was cool. I don't think we had that many adventures actually, but every one of them was memorable.
Transfer is available to the R train.
Thank you for listening.